mute. Apparently I was muted. Okay. It is currently April 15th, 2026. It is 8:38 a.m. and I'm coming to you guys with some very scary news. We're not going to be able to sustain our living situation much longer. Rent is not at risk. I pay that entirely. But utilities and Shadow's treatment and food, which is the main thing we're fucked on right now, we're going to need help. We've reached out to family. They're struggling. We've reached out to friends. They're struggling. So I've had to do something I really regret, that I really didn't want to do after, we were able to get money to get Shadow to the vet. It didn't feel right to make another one, but unfortunately I had to. With my wife's advice, we put together a GoFundMe. We just need enough money to get back on our feet. For those who are not aware, we do not have a vehicle. The only furniture we have is a hand-me-down entertainment center, hand-me-down TV, hand-me-down couch, basically. Which you got from the neighbor for $30 last year. And my PlayStation my parents bought me a few years back to support my streaming ambitions, back when I wanted to try and do it as, I guess, a job. I never really considered it a job. I just thought it was a fun hobby, to be honest. But suffice to say, they were supportive of me streaming, just in general, which was really cool. To put it mildly, things are really, really bad. Due to the circumstances of us not having a vehicle, I'm opening the chat on my phone because a message just popped up. Just in general, which was really... Oh, that's weird. It said someone messaged. Why is it all messages? See if that worked. No? Okay. It says chat rate 1. That threw me off. Sorry about that. I'm looking directly at the chat so I don't ignore anyone. To put it mildly, due to not having a vehicle, and a combination of us living in arguably the most dangerous city in the world, I think we're top 3 now, behind Detroit. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked. We live in a dangerous area, basically. Due to the risk of Brittany being stranded in the middle of the night, because her job just will not listen about shifts, because she's trying to explain that, hey, I can't do closing shifts, it's not safe. The buses stop running after 10, which is when they close. She's had to call off multiple times just to avoid being stranded in the middle of the night in, again, arguably the most dangerous city in the world. I'm not even exaggerating with that. We were top 10 for a while. I don't know where we are now. Again. Apologies for the dark camera quality. It was the only way to have like HD camera to make it clear so it's not painful to watch. Due to that, they have threatened to fire her the next time she calls in. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. This, on top of me having to leave my job for safety reasons that I will not go into to protect the innocent, this has led to us being in a very desperate situation. Brittany is making, in grand total, less than $250 per check weekly, which sounds like it's enough, but Shadow supplies alone is $160 every month and every other month, depending on how long the insulin lasts, that's another thing I'll get into. The job hunt has been shit, as expected. The job market is shit. I've been saying that for a while, and even my IPS agents, I've worked with 3 now, have all agreed that it is absolute dog shit. To give you an idea of how bad it is, it's so bad that due to not being able to help their clients find employment, my employment specialist is getting yelled at by their boss. Hi, Snelka. Been a while. And it's gotten to the point where they're considering leaving the job because of it, because it's just been so aggressive, and they feel like they suck at their job because they can't find work for people. But the reality of the situation is the job market is just shit. And what you thinking? Didn't you just work at a restaurant? Yes, I did. But that's because they were literally taking anyone they could, which is not a bad thing, right? You have a position you need filled, you're going to take the first person that qualifies. I happen to have had a lot of experience in restaurants, so they took me in. They were very cool. Again, full disclosure, the job was awesome. My coworkers were awesome. There was one person I had a problem with who has since been fired. I found out some really fucked up shit about that is a good reason I left the job, because I was physically in danger knowing what I know. But yeah, the job was fine. The problem was that I am not meant to work in a high stress, high speed environment, at least the way I am now. I'm working on this extensively in therapy. My therapist even pointed out, he's like, yeah, that sounds like every job. We need to work on that with you. It sounds like it's trauma-based. I grew up in a household with a father that would scream at the top of his lungs until his lips turned blue out of pain and out of rage towards my mother and even at me and my brother. And I'll admit, yes, I do still have nightmares about that, but suffice to say, we'll get into that, right? I'm not going to dive too much into that. That's not important right now. What is important is that we're fucked. 6 ways from Sunday. The only bill at risk right now is Spire, which is our gas bill. The problem is that that is not the end of it. If things continue the way they are, and this is hopeful it doesn't, like I'm praying we find something fast, we will not be able to afford anything by the end of this month. Me working at that job has already fucked us over because I wasn't able to keep it, which is why for years I explained to people I couldn't just take any job that was available. I needed to find something I knew I could keep, because the problem with SSI and disability is now that I've left that job, again, for safety reasons, I'm not getting into details, I'm not putting myself at risk. Because I did that, my SSI and disability will be significantly reduced by $150 to $200, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 2 utilities we can no longer pay. Which, on top of the one we're already struggling. Spire, I'll be honest with you, is only $60. Yeah, that's not a lot, but we're so fucked that we can't afford it. Now, Brittany has talked to her job, right, and is like, hey, you know, I'll work any hours you can give me, just please something other than closing. I physically cannot work closing. It is dangerous. I will not be able to get home. She's tried carpooling with employees. None of them live in our general area or even in driving distance of our area. Again, she takes the bus 2 hours every day. Well, now that I'll get into that as well. To and from work. It's a 2-hour transit there, 2-hour back. They don't listen, and I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. I will side with the company on one thing. To a degree, I can understand both perspectives. Yes, we're fucked. Brittany is so fucking burnt out that she's tempted to quit. And I want to tell her so badly to do so, but I physically cannot do so because we're so fucking far behind that no matter what, we're screwed at this point without any help. Now, I know what happened with IKEA being very similar. The difference is she quit. She says she did. They gave her a paper to sign, the termination papers and everything. She threw it on the ground and said, fuck you, and walked out. Fair enough, right? You work in an abusive environment, you're going to snap. So for the sake of argument, let's just say she quit, right? But with this job, which will go unnamed, because again, no reason to put businesses on blast. A lot of them are trying to do what they can with understaffing and everything. It's a major issue. There's a whole ass fucking complex system behind it. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying there's definitely factors at play that we cannot, possibly fully understand because we're not management. We're not higher ups. We don't do the hiring processes. We don't hire employees or anything. There's a lot that goes into it. I've been a manager at one point, so I kind of get it. But yeah, due to that, we're fucked. I have to my name right now, if I am to open my bank app, right? Also, Snauka, I don't know if you heard me, but I did say hi. I am so sorry if you didn't hear me when I said it. Give me a sec to open my bank app because I want to be fully transparent on everything. I have 87 cents. That's it. And I know what you're thinking. Taxes are coming up, right? Can't you just use the tax return? No. I don't know the specifics behind it, so I'm not going to assume to do so. Elon Musk apparently fucked with everybody's Social Security a few years back, and it's apparently fucking with people's tax return. I don't know the specifics behind it. My wife knows more about that. Again, I'm not going to go into it because I don't know, and I don't want to give misinformation. One of the biggest things I've been working on in therapy is not going by things I read and more so making sure I have concrete information before I speak on a subject. Because I am a philosopher. I'm someone who likes to tackle really deep and personal issues in the world, as well as psychological issues, and help people through them. And I can't do that if I don't have concrete evidence or concrete information on said subjects, right? So something to work on. So I've set up a GoFundMe. It's been set up for a few weeks now. I posted it in the Discord. Yeah, I heard you. I'm glad. And we've made nothing from it. Now, originally, I was just going to not even talk about it because, again, I know everybody's struggling, and I hate asking for money. I have always hated asking for money, to the point that I would actually rather be the one helping others financially. I'm the kind of person who, and this is a problem, this is a major issue I've had for years. I will put my own health on the back burner to make sure someone else is okay. I'm heavily working on that. I'm done being everybody's therapist. I'm done putting my health on the line for people, and not working on myself first. So just making it clear right now that that's a major thing, a breakthrough I made in therapy is like, yeah, it's good to help people, but I let it get it out of control, and my mental and physical health suffered as a result. Like, I have terrible self-esteem issues because the way I grew up, I was made to feel like I had to exaggerate things to be taken seriously. Yes, you might have noticed I do that a lot. I'm working on that as well. I'm kind of mixing up all the updates of like the housing situation, the cat stuff, therapy, just kind of trying to address everything. Now that this is a live stream, I have more breathing room to actually fully go into detail. But yeah, just some things I'm working on in therapy. My temper, obviously, because I used to rage at games a lot, and I don't want that to translate into my marriage. It's like getting mad at a video game that's built to get you mad is one thing, but you don't ever want that kind of rage to come out towards a loved one, and thankfully it hasn't. I'm just taking precautions to make sure I never let my temper get to that level towards someone instead of a fucking video game. Like, oh, fucking Sora, jump. You know what I mean? Like, fucking move, as I commonly say during Kingdom Hearts runs. Or Leon, fucking pick fucking fire when I press the damn trigger. Resident Evil 2. At this point in time, the 10-year anniversary stream is all but officially canceled. I know, I've been talking about it for weeks, I've been hyping it up, I feel so bad, but there are things that need to take priority before that. But just to recap for people hopping in, we're fucked. 6 ways from Sunday, and without any sort of help, there's no recovering. All of the money Brittany has is going towards food, which is why I'm paying the rent and the utilities as much as I can. I do not mind. I know she's making way less with her checks, so I told her, don't even worry about the rent. I got you. You know what I mean? I'll pay the entirety of the rent. I'll also pay all of Ameren. I just need you to help with Spire and Spectrum. Now, I'm not worried about Spectrum. It's the internet bill. The only thing I'm really worried about with the internet bill is that we won't be able to apply places online if we don't have internet, which, small price to pay if we need to cut it off to save money, to save the home. That's fine. But with the situation we are currently at now, we can't even take Shadow back to the vet when he desperately needs to. It's been about 2 months now, and the vet has been calling me nonstop to take him back in. What's going on? Oh, my Discord notified that I'm live. Now it fucking works. And I know people have been asking me for weeks, where's Spyro? I made it clear. I'm not returning to it. I'm not speedrunning it. I'm not playing it. In fact, you'll notice I don't even bring it up. I'm completely disassociating with it. I just don't want to play Spyro anymore, is the long and short of it. But the plan moving forward is I set up the GoFundMe. We're hoping to at least make 150 to 200 from that. Again, a fucking pipe dream at this point. There are factors behind the scenes that I can't go into that may affect why the GoFundMe might not be a success. For instance, it's not the first one I've had to make. And with that history, you know, people are like, oh, well, what happened to the money you had? It's like, well, we used it on what we said we needed to get Shadow to the vet, then get his diabetic supplies, which it wasn't enough for either fully, unfortunately, so we had to tap into the rent that month, as I explained. But again, people are struggling. We get it. Nothing personal. I get it. But the other factors is that I haven't been able to help myself with charity stuff, so how can I expect other people to help me? Well, no, I guess that is okay to talk about. My bad. I feel bad asking for money when I can't even help people myself anymore, basically. So the GoFundMe's set up now. I'll post a link to it in the description of the stream when I archive it. But yeah, so I predict Brittany will probably be fired within the next week because she's got another closing shift coming up that she can't get home from. So we're screwed. My IPS agent, I relinquished of their duties because we made no fucking progress. And there was an incident where I no longer feel I can trust them. This whole situation has just become a living hell. I was fine when I was more than happy to once again postpone my primary doctor appointment because again, I don't think I have anything serious. It's just a cough, fluid in my lungs, that's it. Probably just sinus stuff. Who cares, right? No big deal. I can just check it out at a later date. What I don't like is that my wife is not doing well. She is physically in agony due to, what is it called, the thing in your foot?
I think there's a claw in my ankle. I don't know. That was from standing up too long. I have fully recovered from my previous job.
Yeah. She has a clot in her leg. There's a specific, an edema, that's what it's called, which is a swelling in your ankle from standing for hours on end. And I know people stand for hours on end on jobs, but people are built differently, and there's the fact that she never actually got to heal physically from her previous job. That one I don't mind putting on blast, because they suck. Fuck you, IKEA. They treated my wife like absolute shit. But yeah, it's bad. I wasn't kidding when I said things are worse than they've ever been. It doesn't sound like it, but it's the fact that we have absolutely no finances. Like, we're out of food. We've been without food for almost a week. And the food pantry hit, but all it was snacks. We got maybe a day or day and a half of food that we had to stretch to 2 nights just to eat those nights. Everything else was donuts and fucking... what was it? Like cake?
Yeah, we can't really...
It was donuts, cake, and cookies and shit. And it's like, okay, that's delicious, but it's not meals. But, you know, we were just grateful to have food in general, so we tried not to complain about it. But then we thought about it. It's like, this is what's getting us sick. We have nothing but, like, sweets and stuff to eat as actual, you know, for sustenance. That's fine if you're trying to eat chocolate for like an appetite suppressant, right? Which I've been doing lately, just to make sure I don't eat until dinner, just so we have dinner more nights. But it's become literally a fucking diet of candy and sweets. Which, you know, as a kid's fantasy, but as an adult, that shit's gonna kill you quickly. We've gotten into a couple arguments about this. Like, the stress of it is really getting to us. Obviously, I won't go into detail, it's private, but yeah, we both have just been very fucking stressed out, and we're just fucking tired. But I think that's like the main thing is that We're not angry about the situation because, again, everybody's struggling with that stupid fucking rapist in charge. Everybody's struggling. The stupid tariffs, along with the trade war, as well as the war with Iran, which is about to fuck our gas supply here in the United States. There's a whole thing. We're about to go through a food crisis globally in just under a few months, from what I understand. Again, fact check me on that. Correct me in the comments. Just don't yell at me. That's all I ask. But feel free to correct me if I got this information wrong. But the way I understand it is, dude, fucking idiot Trump. Sorry, anti-MAGA, anti-ICE, openly and proudly, fuck both of them. Due to Trump's fucking bullshit with Iran, due to his trade war and the tariffs, gasoline in the United States is about to run out in a few months. And food, we're going to go through a global crisis in a few months because a lot of different trade routes go through the Middle East, which is being embargoed, which is being blocked off. He's also blocking ships from other countries that are bringing in imports. It's going to get bad. There's already people burning down warehouses. Now, I do not condone that. I'm just not surprised it's happening. People are snapping. And it was inevitable. What the country needs is what's known as a general strike, where every worker in the United States walks out of their job. It affects the bottom line of all these businesses. It hits the 1% where it hurts, their money, and it will cause a change. Other countries are doing this right now, succeeding, by the way. But on the other end of that spectrum, I also understand why people aren't doing it. People are struggling as it is. They don't want to lose their homes. They don't want to lose their jobs. I get it. Something needs to happen, though.
I'm just going to say this right now. Those jobs don't care about you regardless.
No, they don't. Like, they're gonna toss you guys aside in just under a few months for AI and shit. It's fucking sad. And, apologies for bringing that out. I literally woke up to Brittany talking to me about it the other day. It's been stuck in my head because it's fucked. Here's what you guys can do to help if you can. I normally would never ask for donations from my viewers or fans unless it was something major, which I guess, yeah, this is major. We could lose our home. Because, yeah, again, rent's paid, but the utilities are fucked. The internet bill is also $200, but again, I'm not worried about the internet bill compared to Spire and Ameren, which are the two utilities. Spire is gas, Ameren is electric. With the amount I make from unassigned disability, it is only enough to pay rent. And with it being significantly reduced this coming month of May, it's going to fuck us bad. Also, I'm $135 in debt with Cash App because I needed to borrow that money to keep us afloat, and I have no way of paying it back, so I'm about to have a collection agency after me. Again, when I went to Total Access Urgent Care recently, they sent a collection agency after me because they decided not to run my other insurance. I have Medicare and Medicaid. They decided not to run my Medicaid through. So I owe $139 to them, which is not a lot, but I can't pay it. They will most likely garnish my unassigned disability. So that's going to fuck us even further. So we're trying to figure out a plan to move forward and to survive, literally. More literal than ever before. We could lose our home very soon. So we're trying to figure out something, and at this point, all we have is the GoFundMe. It's the only thing we can think of. Job hunt, we're doing that. I literally am up this early because I drank an energy drink. I know, finally off those fucking things. All night, I was up all night job hunting while Brittany slept. Thankfully, she got some sleep. But it's all dead ends. And we need something to stay afloat. I know people are struggling. I get that. And I feel like an asshole for even asking because I know that. But we have no other choice. Please, if you're watching, if you can, donate what you can or share the link around to people who can. Because I don't know if we're going to make it next month. We're already starving now. I don't want to think about how bad it's going to get next month without any sort of support. As for streams, apologies for the random ones. I did the Resident Evil 2 one I did, like I said, because I couldn't get remote play to work. So I couldn't just record it through OBS, so I had to stream it on the PlayStation that day, unfortunately. The Kingdom Hearts 2-parter was a special thing, just to promote the mod. I'm friends with the developers, they're really good people. And if you watch the streams, we were all having a blast. I rage baited one of the people, it was a beautiful moment. Live streams aren't coming back anytime soon. I wanted to come into this saying that maybe before May 31st, because I was thinking about it, because I've been getting a lot of requests from people to stream this and that, especially from my friends Lucy and Skull Kid. Have both recommended me 3 games in total, which are really fun looking horror games that I really want to play, but, you know, priorities. I'm honestly fucking scared. This feels just like last year when she got fired from her old job and we had nothing. Except now we don't even have the support system we had back then. We're completely alone on this. That's the reason why we made the GoFundMe. My family would love to help, but they're just in as bad a situation. And I'm scared to ask my friends directly, because I don't like asking for money. One, I don't give a shit about money. I don't give a shit about this idealism of being rich or some bullshit like that. I just want to have enough money to be able to survive and live. That's it. I don't want the fanciest shit. I don't want a fucking PS5 Pro. I don't want the fanciest shoes or the fanciest clothes. I'm good just wearing off-brand shit or stupid cheap merch I get from the family. I just want to be able to live. And that is being stripped away from us due to circumstances we have literally no control over. There's nothing protecting her job. There's nothing protecting our home. There's nothing protecting my SSI and disability from being reduced. But I needed to take that job because it was a job. I spent 4 years looking for work and I finally found it. I still, to this day, beat the shit out of myself every day and feel like a piece of shit for leaving that place, but I couldn't handle it. There's something psychologically wrong with me, and this is what I'm addressing in therapy, that makes me psychologically unable to handle high speed, high stress, multitasking environments. I can't do it. Never mind the fact where I was getting screamed at like a maniac. I'm not even factoring that part in. That's a completely other thing that's also trauma-based. And the worst part is, I loved that job. I fucking loved everyone there, except for that one person. I loved that job. It was awesome being able to work again. I went into every shift with a positive attitude, happy to just have work again. To not have to just wake up every day, when I could sleep that is, and apply for hours on end, constantly getting rejection notices from these different jobs, going in person to these fucking places, knowing I shouldn't be going anywhere because I'm sick as a fucking dog and we don't know what it is, but still going anyway because, again, it needs to happen, right? Priorities. And still getting rejected. So when I tell you I fucking hate myself for leaving that place, I mean it. I have heavily considered begging for that job back, and I do mean begging. Because there's no bad blood with me in the job. They don't have anything against me. They really liked me. They even said they'll help me with another job. If they find something, they'll put in a reference for me. Which, you know, it's fucking awesome. Appreciate you for that. But yeah, I've been talking about it the past few weeks in the Discord, but I decided just to delete it and just make a stream about it because I didn't want to like send paragraphs into the community general chat. You know, I felt like I was being annoying about it. I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to be obsessive. I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to unintentionally annoy people with this. I'm just fucking scared, and so is Brittany. We just need help. Any help you guys can provide, donations, sharing the link, we greatly appreciate it. Give me a second, I'll pull up the GoFundMe. I'll post it in the chat. Because, yeah, we have no other option. I set the goal for $100, but we really need somewhere around $300. And that's just to catch up. That's not going to keep us afloat, but that's even that to me is asking too much, but that's the most I'm willing to ask for, and that's again only due to the fact that it's a fucking emergency. I know a lot has happened. I know I haven't been consistent with streams or archives or uploads. I know I haven't been keeping my promises about the music and everything. I do have those 2 songs in the works. It's just I am not in the best mental space or physically healthy enough to start recording music again as much as I love to. And I know I haven't been the absolute best person on the planet. I've made mistakes, I've done stupid shit, and I've worked my damnedest to move on from everything I fucked up, from the bridges I burned. And it still haunts me to this day, and I deserve it, right? I fucked up big time. For context, there was a streamer I looked up to as an older sister that I cut off when I really shouldn't have, and that still fucking haunts me. They got me into Bayonetta, and they were really fucking cool. I hope they're okay. But I'm trying to do better. I've been putting my nose to the grindstone on everything I fucking do, and it just does not help at all. It feels like I'm making less progress the harder I'm working at it. It feels like I'm progressing backwards. I also learned something in therapy, and this is going to sound crazy, because it's interesting concept to say the least, but the best way to put it, this is going to sound whiny, and I apologize for that, is I've been through too much. I've been raped. I've been beaten. I've been abused in every way, shape, or form by family, exes, take your pick. I've been abandoned. I was forced to grow up fast so that my parents wouldn't kill each other. I was forced to take on my mother-in-law at the risk of being murdered, essentially, due to the lengths this person would go through to cause me harm just because my wife stood up to her and took back her life from her after this woman committed everything from identity theft to blackmailing to fraud, everything under the sun, even lying to police officers to get them to kill me. And granted, I know I'm not the only person that's been through shit, right? I know I'm not the only person that's survived SA and rape and all that. I get that. I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying the culmination of all these things together have really left scars on me that I don't think will ever heal. It's made me numb to most things. I've chosen mercy in situations where I should have been angry. Again, referring to family. Again, any misconstrusions I don't want to happen, because, yeah, I just don't want any more drama. And I learned that there's a psychological effect as a result of it. It's, and this explains a lot of my personality. This explains a lot of the reason why I care too much about people. I know, controversial take. But essentially what happened is it's called post-trauma progression. It's an actual thing. Google it. There's a whole video I watched on it that explained the whole thing. Essentially what it is that it's not... When you bounce back from trauma, you not only bounce back, you bounce forward. As a result, you start to pick up on signs that people around you are not feeling well because you've been through it yourself to the point it's literally an instinct to be able to tell when someone you care about is not okay. You're numb to most things, and you make light of your traumas in a joking manner because that's your coping mechanism. Those are three major aspects of it. I think I said three, sorry. I'm just waking up. And when I realized this, I talked to my therapist about it, and yeah, he pointed out that what I have is complex PTSD. Not just PTSD, I have both apparently, which explains a lot of the nightmares. Now, obviously, this doesn't excuse me being an idiot on stream or anything, right? That's still my own idiocy that I take full responsibility for. Like, for instance, screaming at Sora or Spyro or Mario. Oh, that was a bad day. But I've worked very hard at addressing it and trying to move forward. And it's been difficult, I'm not gonna lie. On top of everything else, trying to work on my mental and physical health in congruence with all this other shit has been a nightmare. But I'm trying. I just want to... There's not really much I can do with my actions to show that I'm trying to do better, you know, in a stream format. I can't just be like, hey, go with me on a walk. Hey, join me for my therapy session. You know what I mean? The most I can do is just phrase things as sincere as I possibly can to show, in a way, it somehow show that I have grown a little bit, if not a lot, just enough to show that I'm trying to make a positive change in my life. I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at... As much as I try to be sincere, I'm not the best at phrasing things right, and it comes off as a result as being completely insincere. Again, no specific examples. I know it sounds like I'm referencing certain things, and I apologize for that. That is not my intent. I'm just trying to talk about my life in general. I don't know what to do differently. Even just advice would be helpful. Not pull yourself up by the bootstrap shit. I hate that shit. This mentality that you have to work yourself to death to be able to keep a job, I don't agree with. I'm willing to do it if I find work again, but it's just a really stupid mentality to have. I'm just tired. The hiatus was supposed to be this release from the pressure of, you know, trying to be an entertainer, basically. I would be myself on stream, right? But I don't know, there was something exhausting about it after a while. It's hard to put into words. It's like, yeah, I'm just sitting down on a laptop, looking at a screen, playing a video game. But for some reason, even that felt like a chore after a while. And granted, I know that's part of the depression. That's why I haven't been able to get out of bed the past few nights or days. But it just became too much. And now I'm in a healthier mindset stream-wise, where I am super excited to get back to it, but I know damn well it is not a good idea at this point in time. And, you know, I'm not even considering it. I'm canceling the 10-year stream at this point, just to make sure that all focus goes on job hunting. I was contacted by my friends in the SMS randomizer server. They've offered, you know, emotional support. They've been very supportive. They've given me advice. They've been really cool and everything. After I job hunted the past few nights, they invited me for a late night SMS thing. We did 2 episodes of Randomizer that will go up on the 24th, hopefully. I might need to edit out stuff because it was kind of... I don't like when you guys see me lost for like 30 minutes, but I'll just keep it in just so you guys see the whole thing, I guess. And that was nice, right? Because it was something to take my mind off of it. It was a nice little release. Wasn't an obsessive amount of stream every single day, right? And put everything else on the side. No, it was something I put about 2 to 3 hours of my time into for 2 days, and then that was it. But other than that, job hunting and taking care of Shadow has taken up all my fucking time. And I'm not complaining about that. Like, those are priorities, right? You need to do that. What I'm complaining about is that there's been no fucking progress despite 4 years of being in this financial hell. It is common knowledge at this point that my wife is the only one working. That wasn't always the case when we moved in here. The first 2 years we were here, I was carrying this apartment on my shoulders. Paid for everything, allowing Brittany to not work so that she could heal. Because even before her previous job, she got out of a terrible environment from the job before that, and of course the drama with her estranged parent and family. So I was like, all right, I'll take all this on my shoulders. I can do so. I can afford it. You know, you just heal. Well, that fell apart, unfortunately, hence why she found the job she has now. Or she found the job she had before. But yeah, I don't know what to do. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, applying places, going in person with resumes, nice outfits, being professional, courteous, and sincere, thanking them for their time that they're willing to give to me, to hear me out about the job offer. You know, just being professional. I'll look over my resume again. Maybe there's something I could work on. I could contact the IPS agent, because I don't know. I could just message them. I'm sure that's fine. We also had a I don't know if I talked about this on stream. We had a roach problem. And despite what I thought, they're not actually caused by hygiene issues. They're actually hitchhikers, because this was specifically a German cockroach infestation. We caught it early, and they're gone now, thankfully, but it caused us a lot of stress for a few weeks. And then, about, what was it, 2 weeks ago, right? The sink? 2 weeks ago, I was cleaning out the kitchen sink, making the kitchen nice and spotless so that Britt could come home and relax. I was very proud of myself. I had music going, was singing while I was cleaning the entire apartment, just making it nice, spick and span, nice and shiny and clean, just pretty. It was nice to have a clean home again. And I poured water down the, so we have a double sink in the kitchen, right? The left sink, we put dirty dishes in, we wash them in that sink, then we dry them in the right sink if we don't use the dish rack I bought a few years back. Well, when I did that, black stuff started to come out of that drain, and it filled the sink. So it was my father. Oh, I'm mad at him at the moment. He recommended that I plunge the sink, which, okay, fine, fair enough. There's a blockage. Most of the time, if it's not super large, you can do that, right? And it'll remove it. Well, that just got to fill up both sinks. So what it was called biofilm. It is basically, it's grease, soap, food residue, and essentially what it was is, our kitchen is very small. And one of these days I'll show you guys my apartment, just like a tour, and be like, hey, this is where I live, this is where all the magic happens, kind of thing, once we get everything sorted. He came by and he said this was a common thing. It happens sometimes. You just gotta clean up the drain. But yeah, basically there was a T-pipe underneath connecting both sinks, and that's why it was going between. There was a clog in the center of that T-pipe that was causing the liquid to get trapped. The problem was I came into physical contact with the shit unintentionally and got really fucking sick, like puking my guts out sick. Well, it turns out biofilm contains the following. Give me one sec. I want to make sure I get this right, because, again, I don't like giving misinformation. Biofilm. Common examples, dental. So it can cause respiratory issues, so cystic fibrosis, often involving Pseudomonas aeruginosa and bronchiectasis. Implant-related infections, artificial joints, yeah. Basically, it could cause cardiovascular issues. It can cause it can cause salmonella, and it can cause, what was the other one? Health risks, there we go. Treatment-resistant infections, persistent medical device infections, antibiotic, immune resistance. Come on. Okay, so oral health issues, so dental stuff, plaque, gingivitis. So if you like wash your face with it or brush your teeth with it, which obviously don't do that. Gastrointestinal disorder and systemic diseases. Oral biofilms are implicated in cardiovascular, central nervous system, and skeletal infections. Basically, it's bad. It is incredibly toxic, and it made me puke my fucking guts out for a few days. Better now in that regard. My throat is burning like a son of a bitch the past few weeks, but we don't know what that's from. And then we had a scare with my sister's cat Zeus, Britt and I's oldest son, Suki's brother. His blood sugar dropped several times and we almost lost him. While I was looking after him the other day at her place, at my sister's place next door, and he puked up bile. So she's trying to get him to the vet. She's going through a lot of shit herself. My mom was back in the fucking hospital again. I was the last to know because my family really sucks at talking. My brother lost his job again. I lost my job. Again, I had to leave due to safety concerns. We had little detectives coming up to the place. That's how bad it was. So yeah, things are just really fucking bad. That's the long and short of it. To put a long-winded explanation short, I'm very sick. Brittany's very burnt out and tired. We have no food, and the money we were going to use on food had to go towards her filing her taxes. Fair enough. You know, you gotta file your taxes or else the IRS is going to hunt after you. Fucking dicks. Again, the whole taxes thing, I have a whole discussion about that somewhere on my channel if you guys would know about it, but essentially it was never men indicted, so it's not actually legal for us to have to pay taxes. It's actually highly illegal for us to be forced to pay taxes, but since there's nothing stopping people from stopping the IRS from doing that, there's nothing we can do, basically. There's a lot of really bullshitty laws like that I've learned recently. I might discuss it some other time, it's just not important right now. I am off of social media entirely. I deleted my Instagram. I deleted my Facebook because it kept getting fucking hacked. I deleted my threads. I can't get into my Blue Sky or else I delete that too. Yeah, the only thing I have left is Discord, which I just use to keep up with you guys and just post updates on what the fuck is going on. But I might not be able to do that within the next few weeks because we might be losing the internet. Just a heads up on that. So, yeah, that pretty much covers everything. It's just been a really shitty ride lately. And it's caused arguments. We immediately realized we weren't mad at each other. We're just mad at how fucked everything is. We talked. And we watched something together to relax. But we're both at our breaking points with individual aspects of everything that's going on. We're not going to be able to keep affording Shadow. I'm frustrated with being hungry 24/7. She's frustrated with her shitty job, which, again, fair. I would love to tell her to quit. And one of the reasons I feel like a piece of shit is I feel like if I would have stayed at that job another week, we would have gotten an extra $300, which would have caught us up on everything at the time. It wouldn't help now because, again, we're fucked beyond all belief. We're about $400 to $500 in debt that we need to catch up on, basically. That's Cash App, Spire, Ameren, soon to be Ameren. It hasn't hit yet, but it will, unfortunately. Things are bad. As for the plan moving forward, I apologize that I just kind of bitched the whole time. I didn't mean for this to be that. I meant to just go into it and then kind of be optimistic about a plan moving forward, but truth of the matter is we don't have one. We have the GoFundMe, and that is it. If we can't get any donations, we're fucked. And we already feel like pieces of shit for having to put up the GoFundMe to begin with, because neither of us like asking for money. We hate it. We hate asking family, we hate asking friends, we hate asking fans. Again, that feels pretentious to say, but I'm starting to get used to calling you guys fans. I mean, you've been around my channel for 10 years. I should call you that, just out of respect at this point, and I appreciate you guys' support all these years. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm sincerely sorry about everything. That everything's fallen apart, that everything went to shit, and that the 10-year anniversary thing that I've been planning is dead and gone. I had an idea in June to stream all 9 Resident Evil games because I have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. But that's gonna have to be put on the back burner as well, unfortunately. Same with the games Lucy and Skull Kid are recommending. Same with the games my sister recommended. Again, I know it's not important. It's just I'm bummed out because it was something to look forward to aside from being stuck in this apartment 24/7 with my only respite being going for walks, even when it's hot as fuck outside. That's the only reason I'm bummed about it. It was just something to do and to be able to hang out with you guys. My therapist has been trying to get me to take the bus to go places to meet people, but it seems kind of counterintuitive when we need that bus pass to get groceries and stuff, to get her to work. I don't know. I went into this thinking I was going to be able to be upbeat and positive, but I kind of just realized kind of running out of hope. I take full responsibility for what's happened in terms of like our financial situation, because I do feel responsible for not sticking with that job, even though again it was dangerous. When detectives are coming up to your job looking for your coworker, you get the fuck out. Especially when that same employee decided to make you their next target. Which my father gracefully seemed to completely disregard and said the following. I explained to him that the coworker that was involved in a very serious crime, I cannot again say legally on stream without getting myself in trouble and making myself a target, has been fired, thankfully. My dad just flat out said, doesn't matter if they were this, this, and this, they weren't part of your job. You know, you need to focus on the jobs. Like, yeah, thanks, Dad. Thanks for completely disregarding the fact that I was their target. Appreciate you, Pops. Enjoy Chicago. But yeah, it's been rough. Shao's blood sugar is finally going down. Well, it was. We got it down to fucking 168. Now it's back up to fucking 500. We don't know what the fuck is going on. But we're losing our goddamn patience with it. My sister explained it might take a year for it to regulate, but if it gets too low, then it's going to crash, and that's what I'm worried about. Like, it's at the 500 range right now. What's stopping it from going to, like, 50 by tonight, you know? We play with them, we feed them, they get plenty of exercise, they get plenty of rest. We don't know what the fuck's causing it. They've started throwing up, so we're fucking worried. Oh, she's yawning. I didn't get any sleep last night because, again, it was up all night job hunting. And the monster's still running through my system, hence why I'm really wired and rambly. But suffice to say, we're both tired, we're scared, and we're pissed off. I now have a personal detestment for anyone who supports ICE and Trump to the point that I will not associate with anyone who has anything positive to say about either or supports either. Well, I just don't trust politicians in general to begin with, but more so, especially those that are fucking everything up now. But yeah, thank you everybody for sticking around this long. I appreciate you supporting the channel these 10 years. It has been the best experience of my life. There's been ups, there's been down, there's been drama, there's been falling outs, there's been burned bridges. Again, 100% my fault. I am grateful for everyone I was able to keep in my life and not fuck things up with, honestly. I want things to get better, but I feel like I don't have much time left. And as May is fast approaching, it feels like it's coming closer. Things are happening that I knew were going to happen in the exact order I thought they were, leading up to whatever's supposed to happen, and I don't feel like I get out of this year alive. I'm not suicidal. I'm happy to say, despite all the bullshit, I am not suicidal at all. I'm just really depressed and feel stuck and hopeless. But the feeling's getting stronger. I was able to shake it off for a while, but for some reason, as the year progresses, it is getting stronger again, and it is getting inescapable. I'm having nightmares about it. It's haunting my every waking thought. At the back of my mind, it's always eating at me. I'm always wondering what I can do to change the trajectory of my fate. I'm constantly arguing with myself on what I can do differently to change the course of events that are happening. And it feels like it's an inevitability that I can't escape. It feels like something happens to me this year and then it's written in stone. I don't know if it's my health. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know what. If it's legal, I don't know what, because I haven't done anything illegal. Well, not bringing that up. But yeah, just fucking scared, guys. I am very sad that I can no longer be this pillar of positivity and compassion that I used to be. I'm kind of cold now. I've turned my back on things that I really shouldn't have. Like, I was offered a role by Direct Relief, who we've partnered with in the past, to do a charity stream to help Hawaii's recovery efforts. I turned them down coldly because I literally cannot afford the time to do so. I have to save my home. I have to save my wife, my children, myself. Because if I can't find something permanent, we're screwed. There's not some miracle that we can cling to. There's not some finances we have or an app we can borrow from. We're screwed. And I feel entirely responsible for it. People have explained to me that there are circumstances that have happened that are out of my control, but regardless of that, I still feel responsible. And that's just something I'm living with and am happy to live with, because it's pushing me to do better. It's pushing me to spend my time constructively. I would actually argue the stream is constructive because I'm letting people know what's going on and honestly making a cry for help. This is a legitimate, desperate cry for help. This isn't, oh, we'll be fine. We just need a couple bucks. No, we're screwed. I thought because we were able to pay rent that we're fine, but no, because of how much these utilities are stacking up. Spire less so because we've been able to somewhat pay that, but not completely, so it's starting to slowly go up. Ameren's in the 200s now. Spectrum's in the 200s, but again, internet bill's not important. I'm not worried about that. I'm just fucking scared. And I would never ask you guys for money in any other situation unless it was for a charity cause. As you guys know, all those charity events, I didn't make a single penny. I did not feel right making anything from that. I was offered a small sum from Samaritans a few years back, but I turned it down because I'm like, no, give it to people who need it more. Because they wanted to pay me to do it regularly, but I told them that it wasn't a job that, I could do consistently, so I needed something solid. But even then, I wouldn't accept it even if it was an actual job. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right doing that for money. I like helping people for the sake of it. That's always been something I've lived by. I don't talk people down from suicide for some grandiose purpose of being this savior. I do it because I've been through hell and I don't want others to suffer through the same shit I've been through. I don't want people to seep into that darkness that I almost lost my life to. I want to be the person to help people through that, but I can't even help myself now. But yeah, I just scared, guys. I don't know what to say or what to do. And again, I take full responsibility. It's my fucking fault we're in this mess. I don't fully understand it, but I feel it deep enough to know it's my fault. Yes, I've been applying everywhere. Yes, I've been doing everything I can to find something, but it's not enough. I've never done enough. And my therapist has tried to convince me I have. He's like, it sounds like you are, but it would feel like it. You know, I would feel like I've done enough if I was. Progress would be made if I was doing enough. But I don't know. As you can hear, I'm pretty fucking messed up. Not insane or anything. Like, I'm not hearing or seeing things that aren't there. I'm unwell in the fact that I am so fucking damaged and so fucking scarred by the shitty life I have led that I have legitimately forgotten how to have hope. And no, this isn't due to anyone or any experience with somebody. This is purely just due to the course of events that have played out in my life, the traumas I've endured, and the hells I've had to overcome within my personal life. Again, to avoid pissing people off, I'm not referring to anything in particular. I am so sorry if it comes off that way. I swear to God, I'm not trying to rile anybody up. Please just leave me alone. I literally can't take it anymore. I'm just talking about my life in general. Please no more. I honestly don't think I could take it. I'm gonna try and give me a second. Sorry. I don't know why I'm tearing up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and stay strong for myself, my wife, and my kids, and my family and friends, and most importantly, as egotistical as this sounds, for myself. Because if I don't stay strong, I will break. I will shatter into a million pieces. It's already happened once. It was due to my own idiocy. I broke myself in the process. No, this wasn't due to any drama or anything. This was something I did here at home. I had a mental breakdown and I punched the fuck out of my wall because I couldn't let those emotions out. I couldn't cry. I couldn't scream. I couldn't feel rage. I couldn't feel anything but just this numbness that felt like a living hell. Like I didn't even fucking exist anymore. So to feel something, I turned to my right when I was in the kitchen and I punched the fucking wall. Solid wall, completely thick, no damage to the wall, nothing like that. I'm not a fucking Kyle who punches holes in walls or anything like that. No worries. It was just boom. And it still didn't stop. This numbness has been eating at me for a long fucking time, and it's killing me. Again, I'm not suicidal. I haven't had a single thought of killing myself or even unaliving myself. I gotta remember YouTube. And again, trigger warning, probably shouldn't have said the word rape. Shit. I'm really bad at this. I'm still learning how to use terminology that doesn't trigger people. I'm so sorry. I'm not the best at it. I have had no thoughts, no plans or anything to harm myself or others. I've had no thoughts of wanting to go to sleep and not waking up or anything. I'm answering in the way that they ask the questions whenever I speak to my therapist and psychiatrist. That's why it sounds like I'm weirdly phrasing it specifically. I'm fine on that front. I do feel like a piece of shit. I feel like I don't deserve my wife or my home or my friends or my family. The family kind of sucks sometimes. But yeah, hopefully that kind of puts into perspective why I just nonchalantly would bring up my traumas and act like it was no big deal. It's literally the only way I can comfortably talk about them without shattering. It's not an intent to be insincere or insensitive towards those kind of topics. It's a coping mechanism more than anything. And hopefully this also explains why I've seemed really irritable in like the SMS randomizer streams. I've been calming down lately, as you'll see in the 2 videos I did with them to take my mind off everything. Again, those will archive on the 24th. I don't know if I'll do anything other than that, because again, even as an escape, it doesn't feel right to dive back into that fully. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm not okay. I know I've said that before, but... sorry, that deflectory term. I'm not okay, and I no longer feel like that's okay. I no longer feel like it's a comfortable level of depression or guilt that it's something I can learn from. It feels like it's going to kill me. It feels like it's eating at me until there's nothing left. And I have done everything in my damnedest power to try and fight it. I've listened to music I haven't listened to since I was a kid, just because it's so powerful in an upbeat way and so healing for me. But even that has done nothing. Hell, I listened to Never Too Late by 3 Days Grace. I know, when is he going to shut up about that song? I'm sorry. I know I'm a broken record about a lot of things. I swear to God, I never intend to do that. It's just who I am. I promise I'm working on that, and I am so sorry for being an annoyance in that sense. And it did nothing. It didn't cheer me up. It didn't make me feel better. It didn't give me memories of why I help people or anything. It didn't help. I feel like I'm slipping back into that darkness that almost took me when I was a teenager. The one my very first girlfriend pulled me out of. I owe that woman my fucking life. She was a friend to me when nobody else was. She had my back when my entire family abandoned me. Now, obviously, I'm not going to contact her. She's an ex. My wife has given me permission to contact some of my exes because I'm on good terms with some of them, and a lot of us just broke up because we were better as friends, kind of thing, right? But I don't feel comfortable with it. You know, that feels disingenuous to my marriage. Now, if they're coming to me for help, fair enough, right? That's an emergency. I get it, but I don't feel like getting back into communication with an ex. That feels weird. But yeah, I don't know. I know I've said that a lot to the point it sounds like a broken record. I know I've said a lot of this a lot to the point that sounds like a broken record. Hell, the whole changing myself thing I've said a lot and meant it every time, just not always been able to stick through with it. But I'm losing, guys. Every battle I have fought in my head, I am losing. That storm is becoming so much harder to bear. Again, there's no thoughts of suicide. I'm just really, really depressed. Again, I take full responsibility for it. It's my fault. There's no excuse. I should have a full-time job. I should be able to handle high-speed, high-stress environments. But I'm so psychologically fucked up that I can't hold on to anything, job-wise. It's a miracle I have a stable marriage with my wife. No worries, no fighting or anything. I just mean that as much as I go through manic lows and just go through depressions, my wife has the patience of a fucking saint to be able to be there for me when I am at my lowest. And I thank the goddess every fucking day that she is in my life. I thank the goddess every day that my children are relatively healthy. We think Jet might be diabetic now too, unfortunately, but aside from that, you know, they're in a manageable health state, basically. Fuck, I'm shaking. I don't know what to do. I said that already. Truth be told, I was scared to make this. I was scared I'd piss somebody off and there'd be retaliation. I was scared I'd say something that would unintentionally drudge up something and piss people off, and I'm so scared of phrasing something wrong and that happening. I'm scared that people will think I'm referencing something in particular and attack me for it. When I'm trying to speak in general, I'm scared of more fights. I'm scared of more drama. I'm scared of more pain. You could stab me, you could shoot me, whatever, right? I've been through that. But for some reason, emotional pain hits me like a fucking freight train. Worse than anything else that someone can do to me, and it sucks. Because I thought I had a tougher skin than that. I thought I could take on the world. I could take on the weight of the world on my shoulders if it meant my loved ones were okay. But I'm learning very quickly that's not the case. I can't help everyone. I've lost people under my watch. That was a permanent reminder that you can't save everyone. I don't know how much time my mother has left. She's in her late 60s. She has a plethora of health issues. She was just in the hospital again. I don't know why. Family didn't tell me. I spent Easter thinking my mother was dying. My apartment always looks like this year round. The entertainment center, the lamp, the glass doors, the router, not important. We never have decorations for holidays. We never see anybody for the holidays. We never see friends. No friends ever come over. We never get to go over to friends' houses. We don't get to interact with people in real life anymore. Brittany does at work and stuff, right? That doesn't count, you know? We don't get to go and hang out with people. We don't get to go on dates. We haven't been able to celebrate her birthday in Soulard in 2 years, which is something I always made sure we had money for. Because it was never expensive, but we're both terrified to death that ICE is going to grab her. Because, yeah, she's a legal citizen. She's also a person of color, which is their primary target. I want things to get better so badly, but I have absolutely no reason to believe they will. I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words. That's why I'm taking long pauses. I'm trying my best to think about how to phrase it, but I feel irredeemable, unforgivable, monstrous. While there's some things I can understand that about, I don't think I deserve to completely feel like this. I don't know how to end this off, honestly. I wanted to end this on a positive note, but I can't really think of anything positive to say, except maybe things are bound to get better, right? Just gotta keep trying, I guess. I'm gonna get off here, job hunt. I wanted to run KH3 just to do something other than job hunting for the first time in weeks. Because it's depressing to constantly job hunt for hours and just get rejection notices over and over and over again. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to have answers and not just being ghosted like a lot of other jobs are doing, but it's just depressing hitting this wall, man. I'm trying to figure out how to break through it, and I've made literally no progress with it. I took this hiatus to heal, to focus on my health, and to focus on finding work, and I have yet to make any progress in either field. The most I've progressed in is that Britt and I are getting along better than we have in years. Like, we used to have little arguments here and then due to, like, financial troubles. Not even that anymore. The 2 arguments, we got everything off our chest. We talked things through. We realized we weren't mad at each other. We're just mad at how fucked things are. I don't know. I'll end this here because I don't know. I'm trying not to ramble. I failed at that, obviously. But yeah. Love you. Appreciate you. And as always, stay strong no matter what. Bye, guys.